got your friend, I made that club you can't get into. I just keep on getting, I gotta get out of my mental.
What's up, YouTube? It's your boy Kell, and I'm back with another video. Today I'm reacting to a video that my commenter, one of my subscribers, wanted me to react to. Anything you want me to react to, just let me know. I react to everything, honestly. Just put it in the comments on my YouTube videos and I'll lock it in. My boy Business Basis 3.14 want me to react to this. We will react to this one mistake won the Celtics an NBA championship. And let's see.
June 27th, 2013. The Miami Heat just won their second straight NBA title. Jason Kidd and Grant Hill just announced their retirements. And the 2013 NBA draft is about to begin. The first overall pick was going to the Cleveland Cavaliers. And with their stellar track record of #1 picks, their selection was bound to be a future Hall of Famer, franchise-altering caliber player.
The Cleveland
Cavaliers select Anthony Bennett. The biggest bust. The biggest bust ever. I'm probably better than Anthony Bennett. You give me 7 more inches, I'm better.
2013,
7 more inches, I'm up there.
selected Anthony Bennett with the first
overall
pick in the draft. A player who would go on to play just 4 seasons in the NBA, never even averaged 5 points.
This nigga Anthony Bennett was so trash. This nigga played a college career. This nigga played 4 years.
A game, and is widely considered to be the biggest bust in NBA history. And somehow, the Cavaliers drafting Bennett wasn't even the worst decision a front office made in the NBA that day.
Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, Jason Terry, all going to the Brooklyn Nets. Celtics get 3 #1s, 2014, 2016, 2018. Humphreys, Wallace, Evans, just a bunch of stuff. Clearly the Celtics are...
In what was described by many as one of the worst...
They traded all that, and where is my... Bro, my ring light is fried, y'all boys. It's fried. Hold on, let me see. It might not be fried. It might just be this desk. This desk might just be fried. You know, it's a little wobbly back there. I need to get some screws and screw it down some more. It's a little wobbly back there. It might not even be the ring light. It might be the desk.
First trades in NBA history. The Celtics traded away their 2 All-Stars in Kevin Garnett and Paul Pierce for 4 aging role players, a rookie who played 5 minutes a game, 3 first-round picks, and a pick swap. A big haul for the Celtics.
Let's look at this trade. Nets got KG, Paul Pierce, JT. Celtics will get the first pick. Who would that be in 2014? I guess they'll tell us soon. First round 2014, 16, and 18. I think this is a valid trade. Maybe not for right now in the present, because that was probably the present probably crazy, but niggas gave you 3 first-round picks, nigga. You gonna be nice in the future, which is right now today. The 2024 Celtics, which is right now today. I'm pretty sure one of these picks got them JT and Jaylen Brown. So it's a pretty solid trade in the future. Maybe not right now, but in the future for sure.
But the ultimate 50 cents on the dollar trade. Fans were shocked, appalled, the trade being described as completely lopsided. Trading away 2 all-star caliber players and a starting level veteran for 5 players, the majority of them probably won't even...
Them boys say highway rob, but the thing is, I remember this Nets team. Them niggas was trash. I remember the Nets, when they had KG, Paul Pierce, them niggas was on their back end. They was not even good, I don't think. I'm pretty sure I could have guarded them, bro, if you gave me the chance and gave me 7 more inches. For sure, I could have guarded them with 7 more inches. 7 more inches, I'm definitely guarding them.
Even see the court in a Celtics jersey and 4 picks that may or may not pan out? Unforgivable. But little did fans know, 11 years later, this trade would trigger a sequence of events that would lead them directly back to a title.
I just said that. 11 years later, though, was a killer. Hold on, y'all. This ring light leaning, man. It's leaning. It's leaning, yo. All right.
Basketball years 2013 feels like a lifetime ago. The league was completely different. We had yet to be introduced to some of our favorite players. 3-pointers didn't dominate the game, and the Boston Celtics looked like this. The core.
Let's see if I can name this team. I don't know who this is. I don't know who this is. Rajon, Paul Pierce, KG, JT maybe, I don't know. Avery Bradley. Luke Kennett. Laurie. Don't know who this is. That's Tom Thibodeau. That's Andre Wiggins. No. That's Avery Bradley right there. Phil Simmons, Ben Wallace. I don't know who that is. That might be Colin Johnson. I don't know.
Of their 2008 championship winning roster still intact, minus Ray Allen. This team and this team are worlds apart, with nothing in
Now I know this team somewhat. I know this team somewhat. This team, I ain't gonna lie, I don't know some of these niggas.
common other than the name on the front of their jersey. This 2013 team was good, but the door on their championship aspirations was closing quickly, and time would tell that they would never go on to win another championship. However, was inadvertently spark a chain of events that would ultimately lead to a championship over a decade later. They didn't know it at the time, but this team was about to make the ultimate sacrifice that would inevitably guide the future of this organization.
Look at my boy
back to a
Rajon.
championship.
He got a bad daughter.
And it all
Fine.
started
Fine.
with one trade.
I said that was a good trade. Nigga, I know game. I said that was a good, maybe not back then.
Well, there was a huge trade agreed
Maybe,
to.
look. Maybe not back then. That's a good trade, like right there in the moment. But if you think about a team like this, the OKC, them niggas been trading everything their whole life. And look at them now. You gotta lose to win, nigga. You have to lose to win. That's how all this works. If you're not losing, nigga, you're never gonna win. You can't win all your life. You have to lose to win, my nigga.
Last night, and this is the one Berman is certainly not happy about. According to reports, the Boston Celtics will send Paul Pierce and Kevin Garnett to the Brooklyn Nets for a package of players including Jared Wallace and 3 first-round picks. Now, the rebuilding movement in Boston is clearly in full effect now. In 1 week, the Celtics nation has said goodbye to Doc Rivers, Pierce, and Garnett. The Nets, meanwhile, have put together an all-star starting 5. It's looking pretty good.
In the summer of
They were
2013,
old,
the Celtics
I
broke
think.
headlines by trading Kevin Garnett
But I'm
and
pretty
Paul
sure they were
Pierce to the
old.
Brooklyn Nets
They didn't play that
for
much.
what felt like to fans at the time, very little in return. The deal itself wasn't great, but trading away the heart and soul of the team was an emotional gut punch for Boston fans. Not only was the team that Boston fans grew to love completely stripped away, but this trade meant the Celtics were going to be in rebuild mode for the foreseeable future. But Celtics GM at the time, Danny Ainge, had a plan. A timeline that was going to take the Celtics to the lowest depths of the league before inevitably bringing the organization back to glory. And that timeline began just 6 days after this fateful trade. On July 3rd, 2013, the Celtics hired former Butler University head coach Brad Stevens. Now, Stevens had never coached in the NBA before. He was just 36 years old, and he was handed over one of the worst rosters in the league. The 5-player haul the Celtics got in return for Pierce and KG was about as inconsequential as expected. Keith Bogans and Marshawn Brooks played a combined 10 games for Boston.
I don't even know who them niggas even are. I'm not gonna lie, like, what the old heads that be here in my comments going hard at me because I'm a young cat. Nigga, who are these 2 niggas? Enlighten me, bro. Enlighten me. Who is Brad Bogan and Brooks? Enlighten me, my nigga.
Chris Joseph played a whopping
I never heard of Chris Joseph ever in my life.
24 minutes and a Celtics
Enlighten me on that
jersey.
one, too.
Chris Humphries was on to a new team after just
I know
one
him.
season, and Gerald Wallace was retired within just 2 seasons, which meant that the near future of the most successful and storied franchise in NBA history
Everything they traded
would be
is gone.
determined
But it's
by their
about the
4
picks.
newly acquired draft
It's about
picks.
the picks.
By
It's
the
not
end of
even
the
about them.
2016
Them niggas
season,
won't even that
3
nice.
years after the infamous trade with Brooklyn, the Celtics roster looked like this. The 2 remaining
Let's
players.
see what we got. So we pick up Isaiah Thomas, a dog. Rozier, a dog. Avery Bradley still there. Marcus Smart, a dog. Kelly Olynyk, okay. Not the best. Okay.
Players from the 2013 roster were Avery Bradley and Jared Sullinger. The team was painfully
That nigga
average
Sullinger
throughout those
sucked
3
on
years,
2K.
and they used that 2014 first-round pick they received from the Nets to draft James Young,
Oh,
who
this
didn't really
nigga
pan out.
trash.
But they did have an all-star guard in Isaiah Thomas, and 3 remaining picks from that trade with the Nets. What they managed to do with these picks would become a masterclass of NBA management.
Can we see
and
what
nothing
happens
short
next?
of a
I'm
miracle.
kind of interested. I'm interested. What do we pick up here? What do we get? What changes for this Celtics organization? When life gives you lemons, make championship teams.
It all starts with
You already
Oh
know
my
our deals
God.
and industrials. Now you know our name. Mizuho Americas, a name worth knowing. I was looking through a career that was more computer oriented.
Shit's sweaty.
Accelerated degrees in
Sweaty,
cybersecurity.
yo.
The Nets being absolute dog water in 2016, winning just 21 games, the third worst record in the NBA. This gave the Nets great odds in the draft lottery and resulted in them landing with the 3rd overall pick in the 2016 draft, a pick that now belonged to the Celtics. Now, at the time, these picks that the Celtics received were a complete shot in the dark. Many people believed this 2016 pick was going to be a mid to late first rounder because no one thought the Nets would be as terrible as they were.
Now, the picks are first rounders in 2014, 2016, and 2018. Now, they will probably not be lottery picks because of the fact that the Nets would probably be doing well by then.
Turns out this pick wasn't just a lottery selection.
So you telling me that because the Nets were trash, they got the 3rd round pick? What I'm hearing is scandal. Paul Pierce and them had to, you know, do something, right?
It was top 3. And with this 3rd pick, Boston selected a 6'6" two-way guard out of Cal who was getting comparisons to Jimmy Butler.
Who is this 6'6"?
With the 3rd pick in the 2016 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Jaylen Brown from the University of California.
But I knew that. Look at this nigga's box.
Jaylen Brown
had a terrible cuss his whole career.
Boston, but the potential was clearly there. And with the addition of Al Horford, who signed in the offseason, the Celtics would go on to have their best season in a decade.
Jaylen Brown's a good pickup,
53
though.
games, earning the #1 seed in the East and making a run to the conference finals. Their luck was turning around. The fateful trade in 2013 fading into the past. But that Nets trade would prove to be the gift that just kept on giving.
Lord have mercy. This trade was crazy.
After their 2017 season, the Boston Celtics were set up for one of the weirdest occurrences that can happen in the NBA. As bad as the Nets were in 2016, they managed to outdo themselves in the following season, winning just 20 games and having by far the worst record in the league. And this meant that despite the Celtics finishing the season as the 1 seed, thanks to that 2013 trade with the Brooklyn Nets and the 2017 pick swap that came with it, the Celtics had the #1 overall pick in the NBA draft.
No. This is crazy, bro. This is like some video game stuff I'm looking at now. This is outrageous. These niggas, bro, hold on. These niggas finished #1 and still got the 1st round pick. And I'm assuming that goes to JT. It all makes sense now. I literally was saying the Celtics is a super team. Nigga, this is why they're a super team. And then you make good trades?
This has happened before, both in 1978 when the Blazers finished the season as the 1 seed and the Pacers just willy-nilly traded away their 1st overall pick before the draft, and in 1982 when Cavs owner Ted Stepien traded away their 1st round pick a few years prior, leading to the Lakers having the #1 pick in the draft after winning a championship. In fact, Stepien was so reckless with his trades that the league had to step in and make a rule, essentially preventing owners
At one point, the Cavs traded 5 or 6 their 1st round picks covering 1982 and 1995. The NBA therefore instituted the Stepien rule, which states that team cannot trade its 1st round pick in consecutive
from shooting themselves in the foot. So the fact that the Celtics had this pick in the first place was miraculous. But what Danny Ainge did next was not a matter of good fortune, but rather genius. Instead of using their 1st overall pick, Ainge decided to trade down and swap picks with the 76ers, giving them the 1st overall pick in return for the 3rd pick in the draft and a future 1st rounder. The Celtics front office already knew who they wanted in the draft, and it wasn't Markelle Fultz or Lonzo Ball. They also knew that they were going to get their preferred player regardless of if they were picking 1st
LaMelo.
or 3rd. So in one of
not LaMelo.
The ballsiest moves in draft history, Ainge traded away the 1st pick for the 3rd, got the player he wanted, and got a free future 1st rounder in the process. The player they selected in the 2017 draft was just the player they needed.
With the 3rd pick in the 2017 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Jason Tatum from Duke University.
This is crazy. This is crazy.
By 2017, the Celtics went from an average team drifting in no man's land to earning the top seed in their conference and securing one of the best young duos in the entire league. Their next task? Building a championship team around their new young talent. And they still had one more pick remaining from the KG.
Who did they get this year?
So on August 30th, 2017, 2 months after they drafted Jason Tatum, Boston traded away Jay Crowder, Isaiah Thomas, and that 2018 first-round pick they received from the Nets in return for Kyrie Irving.
Okay.
By the end of the 2017 offseason, the Celtics roster had...
Okay. So now we looking at Irving, Rozier, Tatum, Brown, Smart, Hayward. That's why Hayward broke his leg, so he didn't really play much. I ain't gonna lie.
completely turned over once again. The first seeds of a championship team were being laid. But time would prove that this team wasn't quite ready for the big stage. The Celtics were good, making it to the Eastern Conference Finals in their first season with Kyrie and winning nearly 50 games in his second season with the team. But it became clear that Irving did not share the same priorities or expectations as the organization. So in the
people making basketball the most important thing of our lives, so deal with the money and expectations and all the things that come with it. Okay, so my nigga basically said he don't care if he win a championship or not. That nigga don't even care about basketball.
2019 offseason, Kyrie decided to not return to Boston and ironically signed a 4-year deal with the Brooklyn Nets. This was a huge blow to the Celtics. It completely caught them off guard. They lost an all-NBA player and they got nothing in return. The first step backwards for the organization during their rebuild. At this point, the Celtics knew they had a solid foundation with Tatum and Brown, and if they wanted to win, it would be with a team built around these two. So that's what they did. Over the next year, they drafted Peyton Pritchard in the 2020 draft. They acquired Luke Cornett in a trade during the 2021 season. They signed undrafted free agent Sam Hauser, and they traded to bring back Al Horford in the 2021 offseason. By the start of the 21-22 season, the Celtics finally had some continuity with their team. 10 players from their 16-man roster returning from the 2021 season. But 8 years after their 2013 trade with the Brooklyn Nets, long after the residual aftermath of the trade had seemed to come to its natural conclusion, there was one last gift that trade had to offer for the Celtics.
What's that one last gift?
If you can recall, in the 2017
What's
draft,
that one last
the Celtics
gift?
used their pick they got from the Nets to draft Jason Tatum, but not
this is
before
interesting.
Trading away the first pick for the
Good
third
vid,
pick
my boy.
and a future first rounder. Well, that future first-round pick came into play in 2019 when the Celtics selected Romeo Langford with the 14th overall pick.
Who the hell is this?
Now, Langford didn't quite work out for the Celtics, and so in February of 2022, the team packaged Langford, Josh Richardson, and 2 first-round picks in a trade with the San Antonio Spurs in return for Derek White.
Oh my
and
God.
Just like that.
And there go
nearly a
Derek
decade
White.
After what was
These
described as one of
boys
the worst trades of
came
all time,
crazy.
the Celtics turned an aging Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and Jason Terry into Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, and Derek White. 8 years later, turns out that trade wasn't so bad after all. But the Celtics weren't done yet. After a finals appearance in 2022, the team was hungrier than ever. They were close. They had the tools. They knew they were still missing some pieces, and they knew just where to get them. But in order to have a chance at a title, they would have to make their biggest sacrifice yet.
This when Drew Holiday comes, right? Lord have mercy. Look at this goddamn super team. If you want to win, you got to make sacrifices.
On June 23rd, 2023, just 3 weeks after their season came to an end, the Boston Celtics broke headlines in a 3-team trade with the Memphis Grizzlies and the Washington Wizards. Through this trade, the Celtics acquired Kristaps Porzingis.
I forgot about KP.
What they had to give up.
I forgot about
their
KP.
leader and the heart of their team, Marcus Smart. A trade that was described as one of the most difficult decisions the organization has had to make in recent history. But it had to be done. The Celtics were one step closer to their ultimate goal. And just before the start of the 2023-2024 season, Boston made one last move that would prove to create the winning formula they had been seeking.
Drew Holiday is a Celtic just days after being.
I don't even understand how this trade went through. All just aside, I don't understand how this trade went through. I don't understand how this trade went through. On my mama, I don't, because nigga, if I'm the Bucks, I'm not letting this trade go through because of the fact that why the Bucks not in this? Nigga, didn't the Bucks have Drew Holiday?
Malcolm Brogdon to the Blazers. Portland also gets a 2024 first-round pick via Golden State and a 2029 first-round pick. Here's what Jaylen Brown.
And with the acquisition of Drew Holiday, the Celtics would go on to dominate the 2024 season, having one of the greatest seasons in NBA history, resulting in an NBA championship. Over the course of a decade, the Celtics went through a massive rebuild that featured 112 players, 30 draft picks, 4 coaches, 2 GMs, one of the worst seasons in franchise history, 5 conference finals appearances, and finally, they had their championship roster. All of this stemming from 4 measly draft picks the Nets threw in as consolation in a lopsided trade 11 years ago. Look at the Celtics today and all of their talent, their record-setting season, the championship they earned, and you'll see a team that was bound to win a title. They've been called a super team, an easy path to the finals, too good for their own good. But when you take a step back and look at the long road the Celtics took to get here,
respect this.
you'll find resilience, sacrifice,
I
patience,
respect this.
risk-taking,
I was a Celtics hater, low-key.
and an organization
Low-key,
that has
because I said they had a
been
super team.
crafting and
But they
building
really
their
worked for this
championship
super team, man.
For over a decade.
Look at that nigga T.
This championship was no fluke. If finding themselves in the same situation, I'm not sure how many organizations would have the foresight or composure to make some of the moves Boston did throughout this process to get where they are today. In the summer of 2013, the Boston Celtics made what was thought at the time to be one of the worst trades the NBA has ever seen. But unknown to them, 11 years later, this infamous trade would trigger a sequence of events that would put the Celtics on a crash course with NBA history and a championship.
Them boys some dogs. Honestly, man, I could maybe cry because I gotta respect that. You know, I used to hate on these boys a lot because I said it was a super team. I used to always say, man, Celtics, they're a super team. Like, the team is crazy. They got all these niggas. They got 5 all-stars in the starting lineup. They are a super team, though. Like, we not finna put that past them because they work for it. They are a super team, nigga. My mama, they a super team. But they work for it, though, man. So, like, at the end of the day, you can't be mad. You gotta they went down 12 years for that. So, hey, man. If you watched the video, man, you like the video, drop a like, comment, subscribe, and if you want me to react to something else basketball-wise, drop it in the comments.